Hey, quite a few things have been happening lately. Nevertheless, I'm still here, and I'm still working on the game. Let me show you what I've been up to this month. It's that time in development when I can finally add the minor things that I long planned, but couldn't find time for. And the most important of those would be weather. I've always imagined the place where the events of the game are happening as cold, foggy and rainy, but it wasn't really represented within the game. Now there's a weather system, with different graphics, ambience and minor gameplay effects for different weather. For example, when it's cloudy, you can see clouds passing over the screen, the daylight is not as bright, and cold-blooded creatures, snakes and frogs, become less active, which is true for all cold and cloudy weather. The ambience becomes windy, with different sounds outside and inside the buildings. When it's foggy, your vision is reduced, in addition to the visual effect. When it rains, everything becomes wet, fires don't start, and moving takes slightly longer due to roads becoming wet and slippery. I would also like you to take a few moments to enjoy the rainy ambience. Oh, and the new sound for the fireplace too. Storm is like rain but stronger, with different ambient sound and lightning flashing from time to time. Have a listen to this one as well. Speaking of sounds, I've included some for the interface. This ticking sound plays when you skip a turn, and also while waiting. And this bell plays whenever a new day starts, and when you receive new quests. Since we're on the subject of atmosphere, here's some new flora. Hyacinths growing in the woods, and dandelions growing in the open. Both serve to make the world a little more varied. There are of course ingredients to harvest from those, but that's nothing new. As for something more meaningful, here is an important quality of life feature, bestiary. Whenever you examine a creature, it's added to your journal. There, you can read detailed info, specific numbers for attack, health and speed, list of resistances and vulnerabilities, and demeanor. I think it's obvious why all this info couldn't fit into one small pop-up on the examination screen, plus you might want to read some other time. Speaking of creatures, there's been one quite persistent criticism from the players. Snakes are annoying, and it's a fair one. I've already mentioned that now snakes become less active during cold weather, which just means they have a higher chance to spend their turn doing nothing. In addition, I made snakes very hesitant to approach the player. They strongly prefer to move somewhere else instead. We'll see how it goes. If that's not enough, I'll make some further adjustments. Another feature related to the examination mode is the ability to move the camera with the keyboard. Imagine that, despite the keyboard being the preferred method of control, the only way to move the camera until now was by holding the right mouse button. I wouldn't be surprised if most people didn't even know about that method. Also, here's a button to search for level exits. It only shows what we've already discovered and is there mostly to make known areas quicker to traverse. My favorite thing to work on is various recipes and cool mechanics. And since you can't really have too many of those, at least not in this game, the research tree grew somewhat wider. Let me present you the new items. Protective Ointments technology unlocks two new potions: Leather Skin Potion and Eel Skin Potion. The former reduces physical damage by 1, making weak creatures like bats completely harmless, and generally helping you survive the fights. The latter makes you slippery, giving immunity to grabs and a chance to evade physical attacks. There's only one source of grabbing attacks in the game, Crimson Ivy, but I know for sure that it's killed quite a few players. This potion neutralizes the Ivy completely, since it can only deal damage after grabbing you. Arcane Smithing technology unlocks the Skeleton Key and the Crimson Flask, utility items. the former serving as an unbreakable lockpick, and the latter allowing you to gather blood when looting animal corpses. Blood is obviously a source of something sanguine for your other recipes. Finally, Elemental Weave unlocks the Salamander Boots and Sparkling Gloves recipes. Salamander Boots are pretty simple, they just let you walk through fire safely. Sparkling Gloves, on the other hand, are incredibly useful. They let you destroy glass and crystals in a single hit, including large formations, without having to spend potions. They also shock the opponent struck in melee, potentially stun-locking them. What's important is that the chance to stun is only 50% normally, but it goes to 100% if your target is wet, which means the gloves become especially effective during the rain or in watery areas. And that's all I can show you for this month. I don't yet have a real estimate as to how soon the next release is going to happen, but hopefully it won't take another 8 months, as I'm not planning to change anything fundamental. I will keep posting updates here on YouTube, on Itch and on Twitter, so subscribe to one of those if you're interested. As a reminder, the version 0.12 is currently available on Itch as Pay What You Want, and is probably worth seeing for yourself if you haven't yet. Anyway, see you!